Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Crybaby Pumpkabun, or Lulu, and welcome back to our blind let's play of the 100 Line Last Defense Academy. Last time we fought Vexness again after she revived, and she survived by... We almost got her dead, but then she survived by taking Gaku and Kurara hostage, and we could only save one of them, and I'm still angry that the game forced it the way it did, because I totally was strong enough to save both. I totally could have, but whatever. Anyways, so Gaku's now dead, and everyone's struggling with it. And from this, Takamaru got angry and smacked Nigo, which caused Nigo to kind of malfunction. And now there's another AI that's inside Nigo, and will be for the next 3 days, that is apparently working against Sire and the whole Pro-Exodus Project faction, and has said he will take us, and anyone we can convince to come with us, back to the artificial satellite early. And you know I'm curious about the artificial satellite, so we said yes. We said we believe him. We took anti-brainwashing pills, became red-pilled, sorry. And now we're going to continue down the red pill route. Oh, come on, game.
Get ready for your 30. Prepare. Be ready to...
So last night we were given 3 days to convince as many people as we can. The Exodus Project, the pro and anti-factions, Sire, Goto, the brainwashing, our reason for fighting, our right to run away. There was a lot to think about, but I didn't have the time. Goto said yesterday that the escape pod from Second to Last Defense Academy will launch in 3 days. That's the day after tomorrow. There's no time to change paths or look for other options. I have to stay on the one I decided was right for me. There's no 2 in there, but it's okay. But who do I start with? It can't just be anyone. There's a definite possibility that this decision will make or break this whole plan. I need to choose carefully. The person who's most likely to hear me out is... Oh! Big decision? Who are my options? We're just getting decision after decision after decision lately. Who will you persuade first? Hiriko or Kurara? Honestly, I feel like Hiriko is the most easy to persuade because she was never brainwashed the second time and she watched us get brainwashed. Interesting that those are the 2 options, though. Maybe I should talk to Hiriko first. You're acting a little strange lately. You know that? Huh? Strange how? If you haven't noticed anything, then forget it. I'll take care of this myself. Hiriko had been concerned about me before. Come to think of it, perhaps she'd already realized there was a chance I'd been brainwashed. And that's not all. You said your suspicions grew after what Sire said about brainwashing, right? You mean about me, right? You've been saying something's off about me. Tell me, please, what was that about? Why did you think something was off about me? Oh, that.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that. I was imagining things. Maybe Hiriko's under the same kind of brainwashing as me. Some kind of secondary brainwashing? That would explain why she suddenly took back what she said about me seeming strange and stopped suspecting Sire. That, or she dropped it because she realized that it was being vocally suspicious was causing problems. So I don't remember there being a 3rd blackout. In that case, I'd better hurry and get her to take the pill. What is it that you want to talk about so badly? You're creeping me out. Please, just stay cool and hear me out. We don't have to fight anymore. We can just run away. If you're not joking, I can safely assume that you have finally lost your mind. I'm not joking, and I'm not crazy. A crazy person wouldn't be aware that they lost their mind anyway. Please, just hear me out. He looked Hiriko directly in the eyes. She in turn glared directly back at me. Fine. Let's hear it. I relayed everything Goto had told me the day before. She noted that her head was in a daze, just like mine was, so I had her take the pill. Once she did, her mind seemed to become clearer. It seems I have no other choice but to believe you. That said, she still appeared reluctant to accept all of it. The anti-Exodus faction, our brainwashing to give us reason to fight, the secondary brainwashing to make us obedient to Circe, and the escape pod at Second to Last Defense Academy. One by one, Hiriko came to terms with all these assorted details. And lastly, here. No need to force yourself to read it. I'm just giving you the option. Didn't you look at the comment about your brainwashing in your envelope? Nah, I got cold feet, and I figured it wasn't really necessary. You pathetic coward. Is what I'd like to say, but I'm not looking at mine either. For roughly the same reason. With that, Hiriko tossed this envelope she just received onto her desk.
Oh.
We should start discussing what we're going to do from here. But would you give me a moment alone first? Sure, but why? There's something I need to think about. It shouldn't take long. Go wait for me in your room. Okay. Perhaps Hiriko asked for the moment to think so she could briefly let out her tears. Or maybe she actually did want to see the envelope's content, but without me there? Whichever the case may be, I did as she asked and head back to my room. Not even 10 minutes had passed before I heard my doorbell ring. It's open! Hey there, Sumino! Just wanted to check on how you're doing! What are you doing here? Oh, you know perfectly well. Why play dumb now? Fine. If you're gonna force me to say it, you were sold out. Sold out? Who would do that? No, I suppose it goes without saying. Hiriko? She must have been pretending to believe me and asked for time to think so she would report me to Circe. It wouldn't have been too hard for her to pretend to swallow the red pill to trick me either. Whoops. Damn it. I want a do-over. Is that gonna be a game over? Shoot. So Hiriko is not the right answer there. Oops. So that happened. Route 17. Conspiracy route plans exposed. Okay. So that didn't end up working. But that's okay. Wow, there's so many branching paths here. And it looks like most of them don't last that long. Like, this one doesn't seem like it would last more than just a couple days. So that's good to know. Seems like we're about to start getting a bunch of endings. Alright, so the person most likely to pick is We're gonna try Kurara instead. My tomato head girl, Kurara, we got this! I hope she doesn't sell us out. Maybe I should go to Kurara first. She seemed pretty down when I spoke to her yesterday. It's not like her to show her true feelings like that. Well, why am I the one who's still alive? Kurara. I should have been the one who died. We don't need to fight anymore. I'll bet Kurara wants to hear those words more than anyone else right now. Or more than anything else right now. In her state, she's bound to accept all this craziness about the anti-Exodus faction and the brainwashing pretty much at face value. A twinge of guilt crept into my heart. But my personal feelings were of no concern at that moment.
do you need to talk about so badly that you come to my room uninvited? If it's some mundane drivel, I'll tear the skin right off your face.
Alright, starting off a strong note, I see. More important than that, though, I have to come right out and tell her. Kurara, we don't have to fight anymore. We can just run away.
Huh? If this is a joke, it's even more lame than I expect from you.
I'm serious.
What? And that's supposed to make me believe you?
Please, just hear me out. I looked Kurara directly in the eyes. She in turn glared directly back at me.
Tell me everything.
And so I did. I relayed everything Goto had told me the day before. Kurara didn't exhibit any of the day's sensations that I'd felt. It appeared that her brainwashing was only to instill her reason for fighting. Once she finished listening to my explanation, she spoke in a low murmur.
It all sounds pretty far-fetched.
Yeah, I know, but I believe it. I want you to believe it too if you can. I want you to trust me so we can go back to the artificial satellite together.
But you must understand, as a proud daughter of the Uzuzuki clan, I can never run away, no matter the... No, it can't be.
Kurara's expression clouded over mid-sentence, as if she'd realized something. That apprehension seemed to stoke my own feelings of guilt, but I pressed ahead all the same. If your pride as an Uzuzuki is what is making you fight, then maybe that's part of the brainwashing they did to you. The real Uzuzukis might not be the prominent family that Kurara believes them to be. Or maybe she wasn't even part of the Uzuzuki family at all. If her obligation to her family was the foundation of what motivated her to keep fighting, any of that was possible. Here, in case you need it. I was told it contains a clue about your brainwashing.
A clue?
Yeah, they said a strange explanation would be too shocking. Or they said a straight explanation would be too shocking.
Alright, I'll take a look. Hand it over.
Kurara snatched the envelope from my hand. You're going to open it?
Of course. Naturally, I'm scared, but I would be simply miserable with living with the possibility of that which I hold most dear being fake. I can't have that haunting me forever. If what's in here can dispel that misery, that's a chance I'll have to take.
You're one tough girl.
Of course, I'm an Uzuzuki after all. I will be until I open this envelope anyway.
With that sharp remark, Kurara opened the envelope. Inside was a single sheet of paper, which she cast her eyes over intently. What's it say?
It's about my father. It says he died 5 years ago. Sure enough, I have no memory of this. I had no idea he was dead. In fact, I remember him being in fine health right before I came to this school.
So, your brainwashing was to make you forget about your father's passing.
Yes, if I'm to trust this note, that seems to be the case. But more than that, my father, Kurama Uzuzuki, was head of the Uzuzuki clan. If he's dead, then the family is no more. I think we can say my brainwashing was actually about the state of the Uzuzuki family itself. The one thing that's kept me fighting up to this point has been my pride as an Uzuzuki. And according to this note, all of that was a lie. My father's been dead for 5 years, and I forgot about the fall of the Uzuzuki family. No, I was made to forget.
About that envelope. Was there anything else in there besides the stuff about your father's passing?
Well, this piece of paper here is a copy of his death certificate. The cause of his death was cancer, plain and simple.
I see.
This is a bit too disheartening, isn't it? I imagined that clue would be a little less hard-hitting than something like this. Those anti-Exodus simpletons are painfully straightforward. Their lack of consideration is rather off-putting.
I agree.
Naturally, this doesn't mean I accept this sheet as an absolute truth. This Goto you told me about could be making it all up. He could be deceiving you, and in turn deceiving me as well.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. There's no proof as to whether this brainwashing stuff is true or not. It's just a matter of choosing who to trust.
I suppose so. Yes, I understand. That's why I'm choosing to trust you, Takumi.
You are?
I don't like it, but it seems there's some credibility to what you've told me. If there's a chance we can go home without fighting, I want to hold on to it. I just feel kind of regret holding me back. If I believe you, and we choose to stop fighting and run away, then the others who die, what was the point of their sacrifice? Their deaths will have been in vain, won't they?
Okay, another decision. We're getting so many decisions. Okay. Were our friends' deaths in vain? No, they weren't in vain. They were effectively murders by whoever set all this up. They were essentially murdered by the Exodus Project. That's my take, at least. So it's not in vain, because they weren't... They weren't in vain.
Huh? What do you mean? I mean, you're alive because Gaku died, aren't you? So because I'm alive, Gaku's death wasn't in vain. The only purpose for his life was to keep me alive. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean? What train of thought derailed you into thinking you could tell me that their deaths were any more than senseless tragedies? You're just saying whatever you think sounds right to fit the mood. I'll end you right here and now.
I'm sorry, that wasn't very considerate of me. But even if my logic doesn't hold up, I still don't want to admit that their deaths were pointless. I don't want them to have died in vain.
I feel the same way. I don't want them to have died in vain. That's why I've decided to keep fighting.
Huh?
That's the only way I can truly honor their memories. All this talk about their sacrifice allowing us to sneak away to the artificial satellite, about how their spirits live on with us. No matter what, I refuse to talk myself into that kind of self-deception. I'll fight, and I'll win. I'll get through these 100 days. Then, and only then, I'll be able to finally say their deaths weren't in vain. And when I die, I'll be able to look at them in the eyes of the afterlife.
But...
No ifs, ands, or buts about it!
You don't want their lives to have been wasted either, do you, Takumi? Then firm up your resolve and get your ass in gear. Stop spewing this hypocrisy. If you really want their deaths to mean something, running away from our responsibilities is the last thing you should be thinking of. Let's fight, let's win this war, let's hold on to what we can.
You're right. Okay. I failed to persuade Kurara. Yet somehow, it seems like this wasn't the wrong choice. It felt like we were on the right path after all. Who got bzzzt? Was that us? Oh. Huh?
Dear me, you do have a way with words, don't you? But if you're not able to translate them into positive action, they'll never be anything more.
Is that another game over? Did we pick... Oh, yep, 2 endings in 1 episode! 18, Conspiracy Root, Empty Words. Okay. Now we're starting to get some endings. Before the decision. God, that's annoying. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we don't... What's happen is if we say that their deaths were in vain. Alright. Saying nothing, I guess. they weren't in vain. If I had to put the sentiment into words, I could have phrased it that way. It was only because of our friend's sacrifice that we could escape. In that sense, their deaths were definitely had meaning. Or something to that effect. But saying that would be insincere, dishonest. They didn't die so we could be free. They fought to win and died fighting. In a war they were tricked into joining at that. I couldn't find any significance in their deaths. In a sense, their deaths were nothing but unfortunate result of them being manipulated. That was a much more cold-hearted way of putting it, but it was closer to how I really felt about it. Okay, that's closer to what I was saying anyways.
Don't just stand there with that dopey look on your face. Say something.
Sorry.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't give me some half-assed positivity at least.
What do you mean?
Part of me wanted to cling on to anything that would gloss over this whole situation. If you'd said something carelessly optimistic, it would have been way too tempting to get on board with it. But your silence just now lets me know it's okay to feel this despair. I'm glad.
I see.
Can you give me 30 minutes to myself?
Sure, but why?
Take a wild guess. I don't want you to see me cry.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to think about how my father is probably dead, and the Suzuki clan with him. And I'll also think about our friend's meaningless deaths while I'm at it.
Right.
When I'm done crying, I'll place my trust in you, and we can start thinking about what we can do from here on. I just need a little time.
I understand. Thanks. I waited for Kurara in my room. Her father is gone, and her friends died in vain. It's all so horrible that no one will want to believe it, but in spite of all that, she still chose to trust me. She really is one tough girl. Okay, so we actually get to continue, hopefully? Just as the 30 minutes were up, Kurara arrived at my room.
Pardon the wait.
Are you okay?
Of course. Who do you take me for? Though, I guess I should probably drop the smug act from here on out. Now that my father's dead, the proud Uzuzuki name has died with him.
I think you could keep it up if you want. Even if the Uzuzuki family is no more, you're still the same proud Kurara Uzuzuki as before. What?
Nothing. I was simply impressed you were able to offer a few half-decent words of encouragement. I braced myself for you to rub salt in my rooms with some insincere inanities.
Don't talk as if I was that kind of psychopath. What do you think I am, Yugamu?
Anyway, let's think about what we were going to do from here. The escape pod takes off in 2 days, yes. We need to persuade the others to join us without Sirei catching on before then. The more I think about it, the more this seems like a game that's impossible to win.
Yeah, I hear that. There's just not enough time, and keeping things out of Sirei's notice is a tall order, too.
If we fail to persuade even one of them, they'll probably go right to Sirei and tell them what we're up to. Should we just give up?
Say what?
I'm kidding. Well, half kidding. There's a notable disparity between our goals and the obstacles in our way. Even without Sirei keeping an eye on us, 2 days will be a tight window to convince everyone. To start with, we'll need to do something about Sirei.
What kind of something?
Who knows? The only thing that comes to mind is smashing him to pieces.
Huh?
Huh?
Smash him to pieces. It's not an option, right?
I suppose so. Yes, that might work. At first I thought it would be too dangerous, not to mention against the rules. But desperate times call for desperate measures. And Sirei's rules are a bunch of hogwash anyway.
If we destroy him before we persuade the others, we won't need to worry about anyone blowing our cover if we fail to convince them. We can even bring anyone we don't convince to the artificial satellites by force if we have to.
It's more than satisfactory. So what do we do? The clock's ticking. We need to act fast. I'm more than fine with taking him out, but I'll leave the final choice to you.
Well, in that case... Oh my god, a potential another wrong choice we can make. Alright, destroy CRA. Honestly, I don't know which one's gonna be a worse choice, so let's just try it. Things are just going fast in this episode. Alright, let's destroy CRA. I don't think we have any other choice.
Fine by me. It's just the kind of shakeup this place could use. But destroying him won't be a simple matter. Maybe we should take a page out of that lunatic Aito's book. If I recall correctly, he actually managed it in your last timeline, didn't he? He has to speak with Siri alone while the rest of us were sleeping, under the guise of learning how to use Hemoanima. Once he did transform, he immediately used his class weapon to destroy Siri.
Yeah, and he pulled it off in my previous 100 days. Siri did blow Aito up when he made his move, but the Revival Madam brought him right back to life. He showed up afterwards, feigning ignorance about the whole incident.
Of course, we need to come up with some sort of setup. We'll only get one shot at this.
The problem is, what should that setup be? Siri is going to be much more cautious of us calling him now than he did back when Aito did.
Huh?
Who is it?
It's me, Nigo. There's something I'd like to talk with you about. May I come in?
He said Nigo, but should we assume it's really Goto? Nigo can't have come back somehow, can he? What color is the envelope?
Oh, what's this now? Some kind of password? Well, some well-known song lyrics, perhaps?
The chill run down my spine. For whatever reason, Nigo's original personality seems to have reasserted itself.
Sorry, just my little joke.
Huh?
The envelope is red, and so is the pill.
Hey!
So not funny.
Well then, pardon the intrusion. Oh, Kurara Uzuzuki. Does this mean...
Yeah, I won her over to our side. We were just planning on how we were going to persuade the others to get on board as well.
So you're Goto. So it's your fault my brain is at its boiling point right now.
Oh my. Sorry, I know all too well that what I'm asking is that I'm asking the impossible.
Let's put that aside. You had something you wanted to talk about.
Actually, I only mentioned that as an excuse to come visit you as Nigo. It's entirely possible that someone could have seen me come here after all. What I really wanted to do was come and check on how your efforts were going. I assume Kurara is the only one you've managed to persuade so far.
Yeah, so far at least. But what are you doing here? You said you'd be at Second to Last Defense Academy running maintenance on the escape pod. That should be plenty to keep you busy. Can't you leave the persuading to me? Or is the maintenance finished already?
Oh, I must not have told you. The escape pod maintenance is all performed remotely. So I'll be here at the school the whole time until departure. By the way, I'm doing maintenance at this very moment. I'll most certainly have to work up until the very last minute to get it done.
Okay.
Back to the subject of persuading everyone. Do you think you can do it in a day or two?
No. At least, not if we do everything above board.
Above board?
Yeah, so we figured destroying Siri might make the job more feasible.
You'll destroy him?
Convincing everyone without him noticing will be difficult. No. Frankly, it'd be straight up impossible. That being the case, we thought it might be best to take Siri out of the equation first.
I see. So that's your move. It's such a clever strategy, I'm not sure why I didn't think of it before.
Oh, hey, I just saw something brilliant.
Huh? Something brilliant.
To destroy Siri, we'll need to call him someplace that's deserted at the time. And you're the perfect lump of metal for the job. You can do it for us, Goto. If you tell him after there's an emergency, sometime...
If you tell him after there's an emergency...
If you tell him after there's an emergency, sometime after lights out, and ask him to come with you, I'll be able to trap him without any fear of raising suspicion.
That's not a bad idea. Kurara's plan certainly sounded like the most natural approach. Will you do it? Of course. It should really be me taking care of everything, so I'll do whatever I can to help. I swear by the name of the Anti-Exodus faction, I'll make this operation a success. Ding dong bing bong, has a body been discovered?
At ease, soldiers. It's time to hit the hay. You never know. Well then.
Alright. Nighttime killing spree? That night I felt strangely conflicted. I was extremely anxious about our plan, and it didn't feel real. We were actually going to destroy Sirei. We figured out the plan step by step. Goto, pretending to be Nigo, would soon lead Sirei here. He'd tell him that something crazy had happened in the cafeteria and to come quick. When he got here, I would be waiting for him. I'd be in my class armor and ready to attack. Kurara would be on standby in an empty classroom nearby, ready to deal with any unforeseen developments. Goto would give the signal to attack. Being the closest to Sirei would be easiest for him to gauge when he let his guard down. It seemed like the perfect plan. Other than the fact that I didn't really want to destroy Sirei. But I have to set those feelings aside. The door opened. So, what the heck is going on in here?
Huh?
You said there was some sort of emergency in the cafeteria. Oh yes, sir. We have to deal with it this very minute, or it will soon get completely out of hand. Really? Because I don't see anything here to deal with. Are you sure you didn't just hear some bugs skittering around, or something equally pointless? Suddenly, Goto looked my way. His eyes met mine from my hiding place in the shadows. Now go. And on Goto's mark. God, we're getting so many decisions. This is gonna be we're gonna get so many routes over the next couple of days, I feel. Destroy Sirei? Yeah, let's destroy him. We already committed to it like 3 times. I'm sorry. What the? Wondered if it was like this for Eito as well. It was incredibly easy cutting Sirei in half, but in the next instant, a mechanical sound rang out from my chest. I blacked out on the spot alongside a fit of intense pain. We just blew up. Day 36.
Come on, just how long are you gonna sleep? Get up already.
I woke up to Kurara's voice and slowly realized I was back in my room. Did it work?
You sure did. You did splendidly. You split Siri clean in 2. Then you activated the bomb in your chest and blew you into bits. The drone carried the pieces to the infirmary, and once you were reassembled, I brought you back here. You spent the night out cold, and now here we are. I've already cleaned up the mess that your blood and Siri's remains left behind, of course.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
But the next step is going to be crucial. Do you remember our plan for today?
Yeah. We're going to meet up with the rest of the team in the cafeteria and try to persuade them to join us. Now that Sirei was out of the picture, there wasn't any need to sneak around and talk to them one by one.
I already told the others to meet us at the cafeteria at noon. It's almost that time now. We should get going.
I just had hope it would all work out. And yet, that hope was a frightfully cold and detached one. when Kurara and I arrived at the cafeteria, everyone except Sire, Goto, and Eito were there.
Ugh.
What the hell, you two? You've got some balls calling us all here and showing up late.
Ah.
Sorry. Never mind that. Just hurry and tell us what you wanted to talk to us about. Judging from that timid expression of yours, Mr. Sumino, it's something serious.
Not to mention that it's so rare for you to be the one to reach out to us, Kurara. Right. I could understand if it was Takumi making the call. I simply took a little interest in how my slaves are doing. Nothing more.
Who are you calling slaves?
Oh, wait. Where are Sire and Nico? You must have called them here too, right?
Nico was busy with another task, so he's been excused. As for Sire,
Kurara glanced my way. I took that as my signal to speak. Sire's not coming. Or rather, he can't.
He can't.
Is he on an excursion somewhere? I answered honestly.
Ah.
Last night, I tricked Sire into meeting me and destroyed him. Just like Eito did in my previous timeline. Say what?
You destroyed him?
I understand it must be hard to believe, but it's the truth.
if you like, I can show you his remains later.
And are you an accomplice to this, Kurara?
Wait. Hold on. What do you mean you destroyed him? Takumi, Kurara, have you gone crazy? Are you like Aito now?
You must have had a reason, right? Well, I told everyone the events of the past 3 days, not holding anything back. Only Hiriko noted that her head was in a daze like mine had been. When I offered her one of the pills, she took it without hesitation. And lastly, here. Each member of the team had their own brainwashing concerning their reasoning for fighting. I handed them all envelopes with the clues about their reasoning, except Ava, of course. We already knew all about her brainwashing after all. Everyone else reacted to the envelopes in different ways.
I don't think I'll look at mine. I'll pass as well.
I ain't looking either. Feels like I won't be me anymore if I do. Some chose not to look at their envelopes, same as me.
No, it can't be true.
We needn't read more, Kako. But this can't be. It has to be a lie. That's right. I mean, no matter how awful of an existence mine is guaranteed to be, this can't be a part of it.
Some opened their envelopes and were shocked at the contents.
I just don't know what to think of this. It's so shocking. It actually makes me feel less queasy.
Who to think there'd come a day when my soul would be denied like this? This isn't the work to shoot, is it? And there were those who opened the envelope but were at a loss from how unreal it seemed. Each had their own reaction, but they were all equally confused. I'm sure you all have different thoughts on this. Some of you might not even accept it. But I'm asking you to trust me. I want you to believe what I'm telling you, so we can all escape together. The tense silence held like a sheet of thin ice.
Sorry, but
Nozomi began to speak, softly treading upon that thin ice and forming the first cracks.
I'm still only half convinced. It sounds so impossible that my reason for fighting was implanted in my mind. I still think it's worth believing in. The only way things can make sense is if I trust what I know is real. Even so, even if my reason for fighting is a lie, I don't know if that means I should give up. If we give up now, wouldn't everything we've done become totally meaningless?
The fear, the bravery, the battles, how we've learned to care for one another. The sadness at losing our friends.
Nozomi.
I don't want all of that to be in vain. I can't bear to think that there's no point to our time here. It was the same as when I persuaded Kurara, not wanting all our fighting to be pointless, not wanting to think all that we'd suffered through had been for nothing. I understood Nozomi's feelings painfully well, but because I understood, I knew exactly what to say. Everything we did... Oh great, like how many decisions are we getting today? This is just gonna be the decision episode, apparently. Everything we did was pointless. I said I'm gonna pick the truthy options when I can. We're still on the truth route. That's right. It was all pointless. But that's... Whether or not it meant anything is something only we can decide. Well, in that case, I don't want it to mean anything.
My life, our lives, aren't lived for the sake of giving meaning to the past. It may be sad, and even unbearable at times, but we should abandon the past for the sake of our future.
When you put it that way... Still, I won't force you. If any of you don't believe me, or if you still want to stay at the school and fight, that's fine too. Do whatever you feel is right. I went on to share the schedule that Goto had prepared beforehand with everyone. Anyone who wants to escape with me, meet at the parking lot at 7 AM tomorrow. We'll take the school bus to Second to Last Defense Academy. Apparently, there's an escape pod there. I will simply do as I am ordered. After a few seconds of silence, Ava, the only one among us with a different perspective, spoke up and looked around. Why don't we give her the pills? No one spoke up after her, but I could tell that not a single one of them wasn't going to show up tomorrow. I didn't have any solid basis for that belief, but I felt it in my gut. The gloomy atmosphere of despair that dominated the cafeteria was all the proof I needed. I was the first to leave the cafeteria and escape to my room. No one spoke up to me, or no one spoke up to stop me, or wanted to hear more details. I somehow felt extremely exhausted. Despite the fact that I did practically nothing and only spoke words that I'd already planned to say, I collapsed onto my bed as my battery was completely spent. Just as I was about to let my consciousness slip away. Who is it? It's me, Goto. I'm coming in. I heard from Kurara that you were able to thoroughly convince everyone. Thank you. Truly. I'm glad I could count on you. How about on your side? Is the escape pod maintenance going to be finished in time? A cliche twist like the pod breaking down just as we're about to take off is something I can do without. You needn't worry about that. Leave it all to me. Once you get there, literally all you'll have to do is push a button to launch. Now, we simply have to ride out the rest of the time peacefully until tomorrow. And by the way, about Ava. I'll undo her brainwashing and leave her here on the planet, if that's alright with you. Of course, I'll be sure to do it right, so she won't become an issue down the line. Yeah, that's not a problem. She was originally an enemy, and yet it wouldn't have felt right leaving her brainwashed like that. There may not have been any reason to bring her to the artificial satellite, but that didn't mean we needed to kill her. Then, this really brings it all to the finish line. I'm really relieved. I thought for sure you'd bring up some more stuff I needed to do. Well, about that. Oh no, I've got a bad feeling about this. I do have one more request to ask of you, but I promise this will be the last one. Let's hear it. When you get to the artificial satellite, I'll need to apologize to all of you. I'm sure you'll be very angry when you hear what I've done, but I hope you'll allow me to properly apologize all the same. That depends. What do you want to apologize for? First and foremost, I should apologize to you personally, Takumi. You see, everything in those red envelopes was a lie. What? For example, the death certificate Kuwara found in her envelope. Her father isn't really dead. Well, that is to say, he might be dead, but I don't actually know. I made the whole thing up. Whoa, wait a second. You said you saw the brainwashing logs on the machine in the infirmary. Yes, I did in fact see them. From what I could analyze, the most recent processes were to make the recipients more obedient to Sire. That was the nature of what was done to your team. Some of you, at least. And you were brainwashed, that much is certain. The red pill taking effect is proof of that. But everything else I told you before, your reasons for fighting being distorted by the brainwashing, that was all a fabrication. All lies. I created them based on the information I found in your profiles. Why would you do that? To give some credibility to what I told you. To drive you all deep into despair, so that you would want to stop fighting. I didn't know whether what I was feeling was shock or outrage. But, on the other hand, everything else I told you was completely true. The memory experiments being conducted at Kamakura General Hospital, and the school being filled with technology based on that research, that's all undeniable fact. I'm sorry for tricking you, I really am, but I did it for your own good. The guilt from lying to me must have really gotten to Goto. He went on, talking more than he ever had before. What choices did I have before me? 1. Believe what Goto is saying and forgive him. 2. Believe what Goto is saying but don't forgive him. 3. Don't believe what Goto is saying. 4. Give in to anger and destroy Goto. 5. Give up on escaping to the artificial satellite. Other than that... But what did those options matter at this point? It's fine. I'd already come this far. All I could do now is believe and forgive Goto. Doing that and returning to the artificial satellite was the only way my choices up to this point would finally pay off. Interesting. Well, we're getting them there on false pretense.
Troops, time to rise and shine!
Alright, I'm going to call it here for today because my voice is starting to feel a bit tired, and I don't know if you can tell, I haven't listened to the recording, obviously. My voice has been struggling a lot of this episode. As such, I'm going to call it for today. I hope you're all enjoying this as much as I am. I hope you're all as excited to get to finish up this series of routes. Hopefully next time we'll get to finish up this like escaping to the artificial satellite and all of the Kurara dying route, and maybe be able to get to Gaku being dead sometime soon, sometime in the next like 2 episodes or so. Anyways, I hope you're all enjoying this as much as I am, and I will see you all next time. Bye!